Welcome to the bold analysis. Rest in peace, and may God comfort the family of the late Kasepol Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were. Theatre of absurd and our bad manners. Immediately after the burial, the dust settles. It is absurd that those who are supposed to ask and demand justice for Ongondo Were decided to turn the event into a political theater. And I am not afraid to say the ODM party was portrayed to be mourning more than the family of the late Ongondo Were. And what is supposed to be a misfortune was turned into a political fortune as leaders draw conversations about them at will. So sad and really, really sad. Politics at play, and I would want us to look at the political theatrics of Sifuna-Mbadi in a very comprehensive analysis covering what happened during the day. Before I get into that, I want to say thank you for supporting the education fund for our girl Lucy. I'd sent David to Homa Bay today. Of course, the fee had been paid, so he will give me a report when he comes back here. I'll give a comprehensive report. And thank you, because apart from that, also one of us has offered to pay year 2. So we'll only get back to support this lady after year 3, probably at the end of year 2. But year 1 and year 2 are now, will be, we've covered year 1, and year 2 will also be covered. Asanteni sana. This was close to me. This girl was coming from my school, my high school, Mali Nilisomea. And I'm glad I've done something back home. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to look at the event from all the angles. And first, attendance. Keenly, Siaya Governor James Orengo and Anyang' Nyong'o were the two Nyanza. Siaya Governor Orengo, Anyang' Nyong'o, and Simbarati were missing in that event. Excuse Simbarati, because Simbarati attended the Requiem Mass in Nairobi. Orengo has never been in the picture and was not anywhere in that event. Nyong'o and Orengo are differing with Railla Odinga on principle. In Kisumu, there is something going on sugar leasing. In Siaya, Oburu Odinga the other day was actually attacking and abusing Orengo in Migori. And just to cool the tempers, Arasanga, who was a relative to Were, and Atandi were to represent Siaya. But the cracks are visible. I saw the presence of broad-based, the Railla experts, Mbadi, Oparanya, and Wandai. They were all present and attended the event. And conspicuously missing, I did not see a single member of parliament. Even the leadership of parliament, both in the Senate and in the National Assembly, and especially on the side of the UDA. And little bad whispers that UDA kept off because Governor Wanga had mentioned that area is an ODM zone. So if Cheriot and Ishungwa, who are busy campaigning for the president in Mount Kenya, are skipping because of that, then are they only attending because that place is an ODM zone? But you'll excuse them, the way ODM took that event to be a political event. Keenly, Babu Owino sneaking his speech to announce that ODM should fill a presidential candidate in 2027 and is also fit to talk. I know the plan, he was not even, the organizers were keen to make sure that the likes of Babu do not speak.
Wadawacho ni wan kaka onagi. Adwani Tomar Ongondo were ni oriwa uru kaka gimoradi. Achiel. Kikwariure uru nikech oganda matin moriure. Ber moingo oganda mathoth mokere. Tomar Ongondo ni onego bed a lesson to the great people of Homa Bay. Toto omawa ngama jachir, ngama no tegno, ngama ne wacho pache, ngama no ero ODM gi chunye adi. Achiel, twakwawo jo Kasipul, ni umiwa ngama ratego, kaka Ongondo were ne ratego, ngama bokonyo walwenye parliament. To 2027, wangni wantiere gi hope, ni gini wangni wadhikao, donge kamano. 2027 wawacho ni ODM nitiere gi candidate maber kabisa, donge kamano. Dong kada Babu Owino oromo yawa. Oromo koso koromo. Ero uru kamano.
But who is Babu? He sneaked his way and made this speech. Now something happened. The ODM show-off was all there. And I think each speaker, every speaker was speaking as if it is Railla who is being controlled. Not even the family. And I don't like that tabia. You know, it's not it's not a good show. Yes, until people are even harassing the family to finish fast. It has to take who is this? Kaluma to bring in the family, and the family spoke for very little time compared to the politicians. And the political class took over that burial. There was a burial of a more political party MP who's died than a father and a grandfather and a husband to the family that was there. I think we missed it. And so, I made some critical observation on the broad-based politics. The president, as I mentioned to you, skipped the burial. I had gotten that intel early. And I think those who watch this podcast, I did that analysis, and I told you that there was an attempt, the intelligence team were making an attempt probably to, and even the letter by Wanga, to cool the tempers. But with the claims of the way and government tried to make those progress of naming those people that allegedly were the killers, and they thought that probably by bringing all those young people on screens that were the killers, probably they would have cooled the temperatures and the president would attend, because the president would want to attend for the purposes of the broad-based campaigns. But that was not it, and even the outburst by Wanga, it was a very clear testament that the president could not go there. So someone is also saying, did the parliamentary team also skip because the president was not there? But that is an eye-opener for the MPs in Luo Nyanza who keep on shouting morning to evening about broad-based. There's nothing like broad-based. Now, critically, when Millie Odhiambo was the MC, I think that was with Ivo Bara, there are some MPs, she said, when MPs were introducing themselves, there were a clique of MPs who, she said, will only speak when Railla arrived, if you followed that event. So I was keen on that, and from that point, I wanted to hear what do they want to say that they must only say when Railla was there. And I wanted to sample the speeches from the Kuresei South MP, the former Bomet women rep Joyce, and Kosgei, who was a relative to one of the wives of the deceased, the brother of the deceased, of the wife to Were. And all of them, if not all, were actually pushing the broad-based agenda. And the way they're executing it stinks, if you ask me.
Kwa kusimama na His Excellency the President. Tunakushukuru sana. Tumekuwa na wakati mgumu sana wakati haukuwa na sisi. Tukisikia maandamano Nairobi, tunashangaa tunaingia wapi. Lakini kwa sababu umekuwa kiongozi, mimi nimechaguliwa ODM 207, na wewe mwenyewe ndio ulinipea na kibali ya Condes certificate za viongozi wote wa Bomet wakati huo, kwa sababu umekuwa kielelezo mwema. Na ningependa kusema hivi, Your Excellency, wakati ulikuja serikali tukasikia tumepumzika, tukasikia tumepata amani, kwa sababu Your Excellency, hiyo ni lengo letu tulikuwa nayo 207. Na ndiposa Your Excellency the President, Your Excellency Prime Minister, Mwenyezi Mungu ametufungulia njia wakati hii, wakati wale wa jamaa sasa hivi wanapiga nduru, wakati wanatuziana, sisi tuko sawa kama tuko na wewe. Tuko sawa. Wale viongozi ambao wamechaguliwa Nyanza, wabunge ambao wako hapa, masenators ambao tuko nao hapa, wale waziri umetupea, nataka nikuhakikishie ya kwamba wanafanya kazi vilivyo. Na sisi kama wakale wakiwa na sisi tuko tu kwenye tunauliza kama kina Kachwang, tunauliza kama senator wa Nairobi, hii inaenda aje, anasema iko hivi, tunasema kama wamesema tuko sawa. So kwa hivyo Your Excellency, tukae pamoja. Wale wa jamaa wanaomba usiku na mchana, wale wa jamaa wanajaribu kukuongelesha usiku na mchana, wanajaribu kuongelesha kina Sifuna usiku na mchana, wanajaribu kuongelesha kina Babu Owino usiku na mchana. Baba, saidia sisi. Hao vijana tunawapenda sana. Waje wakae na sisi, waje washikilie serikali, kwa sababu tutafika pamoja. Sisi wenyewe saa hii, Your Excellency the Prime Minister, nataka nimalizie kusema hivi. Sisi saa hii kama serikali tunalipa deni ambayo itakuja hapa Nyanza. Tunalipa mabarabara ambayo itakuja Nyanza. Tunalipa deni ya railway ambayo itakuja hapa Nyanza. Nafasi ni yetu hata sisi kutengenezea kazi kwa watu wetu hapa. Imetosha. Watatusiana, wataongea, wataungana, lakini mwisho wanaulizana, Raila ataenda wapi?
Na pia tunashukuru serikali hii, tumepata mawaziri wachapa kazi. And you know, we don't know how to thank you Baba. Hii kitabu yako ya The Enigma nimeisoma na ninaona pia bado iko na upungufu. It needs to be written again and again, because you are this unique son of Kenya who has always put our country first. And I'm praying for you. Uishi mpaka Wakalenjin wanasema mpaka ukunywe maziwa na kifuniko ya kibuyu. Meaning uishi mpaka uzidi miaka 100 kwenda mbele. Tunakushukuru kwa hawa mawaziri. Opiyo Wandayi ambaye alikuwa kiongozi wetu kwa bunge, sasa hii amechapa kazi. Ile watu walikuwa wanasema shares hautapata, lete maendeleo hapa Nyanza venye unalete Kipkelion. Waziri wetu wa fedha, kalia sawa sawa. Wewe ndio unaelewa hii maneno. Ukiongea kwa TV inji inapumzika. They know the expert is in charge. And Mheshimiwa Bara,
it was pathetic, especially that women rep from Bomet, the former Bomet women rep. Her pitch on what broad-based is, and even as they tried to market it was actually pathetic. Even though the rallying call, there was a rallying call also for there was also a running call for those people to support one of Ongondo's children to take over that position, something that this lady from the Lamu Women Rep was meant to make.
Were alikupenda sana sana, kutoka kwa roho yake alipenda ODM, lakini wewe alikupenda personally and deeply. Na mimi najua umepoteza rafiki, na kama vile Mheshimiwa Nzengu amesema, mimi Were alikuwa amenionyesha baba ako na vijana wawili ambao ni karibu rika yangu. Baba, unaona mkono yangu sijaweka pete. Baba, ukituma kijana ya Were bunge, utume kijana ya Honorable Ongondo Were bunge, mimi mwenyewe Muthoni nitaonyesha yeye. Asanteni sana watu wa Homa Bay, Kasipul.
Now the Lamu women rep was elected on Jubilee. The Lamu women rep was elected on Jubilee. And she attended. She's the only Kikuyu MP who spoke in that event. Maybe someone want to achieve. And Lamu, Jubilee is under Uhuru Kenyatta. You know, curiously, I took a lot of, I took an observation from that. And I'm taking that because for the first time, I listened to Raila Odinga, and Raila dragged Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo's name in his message, saying that they have sent him condolences to the family. I think that could be in form of cash. We'll find out whether Raila is talking with Uhuru and Kalonzo. Now, let's look at Sifuna-Mbadi debate. Sifuna Rod speaking about the party position.
Tim Jaluo, mimi ni Muluya. Kiongozi wangu ni Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Na nikichagua kuingia chama cha ODM, si ati hakukuwa na vyama vingine. Huko nyumbani kwetu kuna vyama. Speaker akisimama hapa atawaambia. I made a conscious decision. We have to protect this institution called ODM. Wakati nafanya kazi yangu, wengine wanasema Sifuna anapinga. Ile kitu najua baba aliniambia ya kwamba even after we donated our experts to government, ODM is not in government. Alisema mwenyewe. Na atarudia hapa. If ODM is not in government, the Secretary General of ODM cannot be in government. Surely people. Mimi najua nyinyi watu wa Homa Bay mnajua tumewahi kushinda uchaguzi kama chama cha ODM. Mnakubali ama mnakataa? Tushawahi kushinda ama hatujawahi shinda? Si tumeshinda? Na najua ndani ya mioyo yenu mnaamini kwamba bado hiki chama kinaweza kushinda uchaguzi. Kama unaamini ODM bado ina uwezo wa kuunda serikali, niinulie mkono hapo tafadhali nione. Kwa hivyo kama mnaamini kwamba chama hiki bado kina nguvu na uwezo wa kuweza kuunda serikali, katibu mkuu wa chama akisema kwamba mimi sitounga mtu mwingine mkono bali baba Raila Amolo Odinga, katibu amekosea? Katibu amekosea? So mimi nataka niwaambie kila mtu afanye kazi yake. Siku moja huyu baba Raila Amolo Odinga atakuja kuniambia mimi mwenyewe, hajawahi kuniambia kwa nini alinichagua kama katibu. Juzi wakati kulikuwa na nafasi, Mheshimiwa Wanga wewe unajua ulikuwa pale. Nikaomba baba, nikamwambia baba si sasa basi unipe promotion kidogo, wacha nikuwe deputy party leader. Baba akakataa, akapea Osoti kazi. Akasema Sifuna wewe baki hapo. Yeye mwenyewe atakuja kuniambia siku moja kwa nini alisema ni baki hapo. Hawa jamaa wetu, marafiki zetu wako kwa serikali. Mimi ile serikali najua ni serikali ya Kenya Kwanza ambayo ilichaguliwa chini ya uongozi wa William Ruto. Nimesikia ndugu yangu hapa anaitwa Charles Kamuren, sisi Waluya huwa tunasema kama mwenye boma bado yuko na hajashindwa kazi, usimuongelele. Mimi ni Mbukusu, kazi kinishinda kwa boma ndugu yangu atanisaidia. Haijanishinda. Kama msemaji wa chama amekaa hapa, wewe unaongeaje kwa niaba ya chama? Sisi tunajua pahali chama kiko. So sisi kama viongozi tusipotoshe wafuasi wetu.
And while I agree with what Sifuna says, now Mbadi took on Sifuna, and according to Mbadi, the fact that he comes from ODM, or he had served as an ODM chairman for 10 years, ODM needs to back him.
We are united. We are in ODM. Let me repeat, I am in ODM. I am not official of ODM because the law does not allow me, but I am a member, a life member of ODM. I am not about to relinquish that. We work together with governor. We sit. Kadi wapogo gik mabiro ka. Anyuso nyawangai ni bedoma be wetaguri. Pesa bro ama local wari nikejikia. Nikechane mani etoko. And you will see. Uneno. Nitie yo moro ka manyo chando ngondo kabisa ni karabok adiedo kiluongo na adiedo karabok tichwanye. Nyocha nyiso ngondo na diketo ne pesa mono lose pio pio na seketo. Nie budget idi lose pio pio mono room. But let me now conclude, Baba. I have been the chairman of ODM for 10 years. I'm the longest serving chairman of ODM to date. And I belong to this party. I put a lot of effort since you sent us to the government. And the reason why I'm putting a lot of effort to reform this economy, Baba, I found this economy in bad shape. Si mchezo. Ilikuwa mbaya. It was bad. But the reason why I'm putting my effort, apart from being patriotic, I wanted to demonstrate to the whole world that if Railla Odinga became the president, these are the people he would have gone with to the government, and this is what they would have done. And therefore my concluding remarks is that if I am there, I expect total 100 support from the party. Starting with the Secretary General, my brother Sifuna, please, I am a member of your party. I don't belong to any other party. I belong to ODM. If I fail, there is no way 2027 you are talking about. You will convince anyone that ODM can run a government. May God bless.
That is our crocodile, our very own crocodile, Nyang Jadimo, Minister for Finance. Now allow me to invite...
What I don't seem to get is how ODM support is helping Mbadi to deliver. Now, two things. If I listen to the statement from Mbadi and Sifuna, these two fellows have not been working speaking in one voice. I understand that. So Sifuna, Mbadi and Wandai were of the opinion that, you know, they need to be supported by the party. But when I listened to Oparanya was of the alternative opinion that you can criticize us at will. And this is what Mbadi, this is the disconnect between Mbadi and Sifuna.
Nimeomba tu Mwenyezi Mungu amweke mahali pema peponi. Nikimalizia, vile mnajua mimi nimekuwa mtu wa ODM. Hii miaka yote mimi ni mmoja wapo wale ambao walianzisha ODM. Nimekuwa loyal, nimekuwa deputy party leader kwa baba hiyo miaka yote. Na wakati Papa aliniongelesha akasema anataka tuingie kwa serikali, tulikuwa na maswali, lakini kwa sababu alisema anataka we go into government to stabilize government, because unstable government will affect you whether you are in opposition, whether you are in government. Kenyans, we want a stable government. Na tukaingia huko na tukaanza kufanya kazi. Na sisi sasa tunafanya kazi. Tukiwa na makosa mnasema tunarekebisha hayo makosa. Lakini saa hii,
now this is the truth. It is not that Mbadi wants Sifuna to support them, that through that support is the only way that they can deliver. Mbadi does not want criticism. And not wanting criticism is an objective of the president. Because one thing they feel is this. This is what Mbadi and Wandai cannot say. But they will want status quo. They will want ODM to support President Ruto, not because of criticism, because they believe so, a marriage should exist so that in the next government, they can still be cabinet members. That is number one. Number two, Mbadi understands, he sits in treasury, and he understands that William Samoei Arap Ruto do not have a tangible track record. Not so much is happening in the government. And when ODM is criticizing them, ODM will stand at a better chance to criticize them because they are also insiders. And why Mbadi doesn't want criticism, why Mbadi wants ODM to support, to me, I don't get it, because the government should have a constructive criticism. Even though one thing I understand is there could be a deep difference beyond the whole party position. There is a deep cut between Mbadi and Sifuna. Na hawa wamekasirika. But Mbadi is dishonest to demand that he should not be criticized because he was in ODM for 10 years and he has done a lot for the party. That position is not working for ODM party. If he's working for a party, then he's working for Kenya Kwanza, because that is the ruling party. So the person who should be asking to support him and worship him should be the UDA Secretary General son, Omar Hassan. And that tells you how they had really hijacked that funeral to push the broad-based agenda. And clearly, I listened to Railla Odinga's speech, and at one point he even dragged Uhuru Kenyatta and Kalonzo Musyoka.
And life must continue. Life must continue. That is how democracies are built over the years. Yes, of course, our elections have not been perfect. They're not perfect. We know exactly what has been happening. But Kenya is much more important than individuals. If we break Kenya, there will be no other Kenya tomorrow. We saw what happened in Somalia in 1991. Up to now, there's never been peace in Somalia. Al-Shabaab and all these gangs are roaming around all over the place. People are dying day and night. So we must institutionalize democratic practice in our country, where people tolerate each other, where people can compete peacefully, and at the end of it all, people come and shake hands and the country moves on. Yes, we are partners, and we have worked together for a long time. I'm bringing here today condolences from President William Ruto, President Uhuru Kenyatta, and Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. They've all sent their condolences to the family here. We, as members of ODM, must remain steadfast, and we must work to unify ODM as a strong political party. Yes, in a political party, there's always differences of opinion on some issues, but the political party itself must have a firm stand on a particular issue. And that's why people can talk, and talk this way and this way. Ultimately, there's an official position that will be articulated by the party. And the spokesman of the party is usually the Secretary General. So Sifuna, when Mr. Sifuna speaks, he's speaking on behalf of the party. But then, Mr. Sifuna, saa ingine hapana kuwa chungu sana. So, we have a firm stand. We have an arrangement with Kenya Kwanza and we put it in black and white. And there is a 10-point agenda, which is in the memorandum that we signed. And we want that to be fully implemented. I want to thank our members who have joined the government and are working there. We will give you all the support that you need to be able to discharge your duties properly. Now, Jethurwa, Jumumbo, Untie, Uchiek, Jogi ni ngondo, kata ginege, to ngondo bro nyime.
That the fellows have sent him with the condolence. I've also realized P.S. Raymond Omolo, who comes from Homa Bay, was also absent. I don't know how he could attend while the brother the other day was wailing that is the killer of his brother. I was wailing just the other day, and by the way, I don't want to defend that man. But Omolo looks so composed and cool and non-detached on some of these issues. And even though people might see the brother is vying once a position in Homa Bay, but to me, you still needed to really struggle to convince me that Omolo's hand in it. I don't want to, I'm not defending him, but I'm a bit lukewarm. Now, ODM, the three interpretations of the ODM approach to Ongondowere's burial. Number one, ODM is foreseeing a strong battle in the by-election, and they wanted to stamp the ODM party authority so that they can get that seat. And probably, and as at now, they are going for that by-election, and keenly, they are not taking their broad-based. And that is why Wanga, that is why Kajwang and Homa Bay politicians are saying Homa Bay is an ODM zone. The ODM zone is a detachment, of course, for this by-election, to detach from the broad-based. If the broad-based thing is something they embrace, they wouldn't have taken that position. They would have allowed UDA to go and field candidates. And from what I see, UDA might not field candidate. And that is also one aspect in it. Now, the other issue is the fact that when politicians are coming out as if they are concerned about the killers, the truth of the matter here is the dust has settled, and none of those characters in Homa Bay is going to talk about Ongondo's murderers, Ongondo's killers. None of them. None of them. The other aspect I'm seeing is that the fact that UDA was out of that burial completely, they could not even go to make a speech in Homa Bay, is a worrying signal. The president could not. Yes, his Nini was read. No single leader was there. In fact, the issue of broad-based is keen. No single politician from Mount Kenya went there because they've gone there and they want to go to disassociate their William Ruto with Railla, the William Ruto Railla Odinga's deal, so that Mount Kenya could go to William Ruto because they understand, William Ruto understands that he cannot take the broad-based in Nyanza. That is the same way even no Kikuyu MP, even that who is supporting Railla and supporting Ruto, could not go in that burial to even support Kubaya. Clearly, that broad-based thing is dead on arrival. Thank you.